Good morning, welcome all of you. This session is supposed to be discussed on communism and socialism. So you know communism that Samyabad. So it had some impacts we have seen till today. We feel communism is still not a spent force. It is existing almost in some couple of countries like China. There also you can find here in India also we can find the presence of communism in some parts of the some provinces you can see. Even you can find Kerala and all. These rulers are almost coming from this communism. So here we are having a short discussion, a brief discussion on Sri Aurobindo's aphorisms. From Sri Aurobindo's aphorisms, of course, it is from 321, 322, like this. We'll have some glimpse on communism we can find here. Sri Aurobindo has quoted beautifully because he has placed what really is communism is meaning. Really, what is communism is what, how, and what in which way it is functioning, and of course how the socialism has affected the Europe, entire Europe almost. Almost is emerged from Europe, and how it is actually functioning in a opposite manner. That's what we will see. You will find in the aphorism number 321. Sri Aurobindo is having, of course, placing a couple of nice difference between communism and individualism. Then, of course, later in the latter part, Sri Aurobindo course on socialism, how it has been a yoke upon the humankind. Still in the first course, the communistic principle of society is intrinsically as superior to the individualistic, as brotherhood to the jealousy and mutual slaughter. Here, individualistic, you can find here brotherhood to the as the brotherhood to jealousy and mutual slaughter. Here, communism principle of the society is intrinsically superior to the individualistic, as is brotherhood to the jealousy and the mutual slaughter. Brotherhood to the mutual slaughter and the jealousy. Thus, communism is superior to individualistic. Again, in the same part, in the same discussion, in the latter part of the aphorism, we can find on. But all the practical schemes of the socialism, here we have seen all the practical schemes of the socialism invented in Europe. Socialism invented it in Europe, of course. We find the practical schemes as are in Europe are a yoke, tyranny, and a prison. So just imagine here the feeling. It is naturally going at a great discussion and a great comparison between initial part in the communism over individualism, and like this second scheme we can find communism versus socialism, which was invented in Europe. Against Europe in the course in the next aphorism in 322, if communism ever re-establishes itself successfully upon earth, because when Sri Aurobindo course successfully means it has got its drawback, lacuna, problem. If communism ever establishes itself successfully upon earth, it must be on the foundation of soul's brotherhood and the death of egoism. That's what really is lacking in communism. If it wants to re-establish itself, the thing has which he has to be focused in the very inner side of communism, that is actually foundation of soul's brotherhood and death of egoism. Both are actually it is existing there. It must perish. A forced association and a mechanical comradeship. In communism, the great word you keep hearing, almost this is the common invocation you find, that comradeship, comrades. Say forced association and a mechanical comradeship would end in a worldwide fiasco. It can never work actually. So for the foundation and for the real establishment, the thing must be based on the foundation of soul's brotherhood first, soul's brotherhood, and the second is death of egoism. That two are must, and it has to be taken care of. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes in the next 323, aphorism number 323. Vedanta realized is the only practicable basis for a communistic society. So here in the course here on the superiority, of course, the influence of Veda must be recognized, realized there. Vedanta realized is the only practical basis for a communistic society. It is the kingdom of the saints dreamed of by Christianity, Islam, and Puranic Hinduism. It is the kingdom of the saints, sannyasi. So, kingdom of the saints dreamed up by Christianity, Islam, and Puranic Hinduism. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes, it must be a practicable basis for the communistic society, that is Vedanta. So, Vedanta, it holds a great deal of things which actually still hidden from the human view. It has to flourish, it has to come to the picture, because for the survival, for the progress, of course, for the transformation, this Vedantic view must be realized. Again, we are racing forward a little bit ahead on 324. Freedom, equality, and brotherhood. These are the great fruits of French Revolution. Freedom, equality, brotherhood cried the French Revolution, but in truth, freedom only has been practiced with a dose of equality. That's what only that has gone, because in French Revolution, three major fruits, major slogans we got that touched our heart, and of course it has lost our ear into our ear. That is freedom, equality, and brotherhood. French Revolution cried, but in truth, freedom has only been practiced with a dose of equality. Second, as for brotherhood, because freedom, equality, and brotherhood. First, this freedom is only practiced in the dose of equality. Second, as per brotherhood, only the brotherhood of Cain was founded, and the of the the Barabbas only this, and of Barabbas only. Sometimes it calls itself as a trust or a combine, or sometimes a concert of Europe, because yet to be fully realized. It is still only a slogan and sloganic view. Again, we find that liberty, on liberty. Next one also Sri Aurobindo quotes in same line with the same emphasis. Sri Aurobindo quotes here 325. Since liberty has failed, we don't know how far if things have gone proceeded, but thing in the yogic view of Sri Aurobindo, it is very clear. Since liberty has failed, cries the advanced thought of Europe. Advanced thought of Europe feels, let us try liberty come equality, or since the two are of little harder to pair, equality instead of liberty. That is what the modern thought, modern advanced European thought is focusing upon. Very interesting, we'll see it again. Since liberty has failed, it has met its failure, it sees only failure. Cries the advanced thought of Europe, then what next? Let us try liberty come equality. Not only liberty, liberty come equality. Or since the two are a little hard to pair, very difficult. Liberty and equality, very hard to pair. Equality instead of liberty. Equality instead of liberty. For brotherhood, the next phase, it is impossible. Therefore, we are replaced by industrial association, because both can't stand on a single point. It is very difficult to find. But this time also, I think God will not be deceived. What the slogan really stood for, that was during the French Revolution period. And now Sri Aurobindo quotes in a very frank analysis, brilliantly Sri Aurobindo quotes. But this time also I think God will not be deceived. Again, about the Indian communal life, Sri Aurobindo quotes, India had three fortresses of communal life. Three fortresses of communal life. The village community, number one, the large joint family, number two, and the order of the sannyasins. That's what the 3 point has been focused by Sri Aurobindo here. India had three fortresses. Very interesting. Three fortresses India has, of course, seen here. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, India had three fortresses of communal life. One, village community. Second, larger joint family, and the orders of the sannyasin. All these are broken or breaking with the stride of egoistic conceptions of the social life. What really India expected in the communal life, it has broken or breaking down with the stride of egoistic conceptions of the social life, but it is not this, after all, only the breaking of these perfect moods on the ways of the larger and the diviner communism. Very interesting. Three things Sri Aurobindo quoted. India had three fortresses of communal life. One, village community. Second, larger joint family. Third, order of the sannyasins. All these are broken or breaking with the stride of egoistic conception of social life. With the stride of egoistic social life, it is broken or breaking down. But it's not this, after all, only the breaking of these imperfect moods on the way to a larger and a diviner communism. So, because it has to, already Sri Aurobindo has quoted, two things must emerge inside, and that must be realized here, for this practicable in communism. If your mostly on the earth we find soul's brotherhood and the death of egoism, both are required. If both are working in the proper place, so you can find a great deal of progress, and of course this maybe the result we can get in better result in the near future in the fields of communism and the growth of communism. Against your window tries carries forward, and of course we are moving forward to the next aphorism. It is under 327. The individual can't be perfect until the surrendered all to he now calls himself to the divine being. The only process, after discussing a lot socialism, individualism, that communism, Vedanta, how the egoistic society is coming, and of course French Revolution, and liberty, equality, fraternity. Here in the comes where really the end of all these problems, and where is the true light comes. Here in the quotes here, the individual can't be perfect until he has surrendered all. He now calls himself to the divine being. That is the only solution. Only solution, he has to surrender all to the what he calls now the divine being. So also, until mankind gives all to his to it has to God, never shall there be a perfect society. So this is a great aphorism: surrender, surrender, surrender. This surrender and consecration, it is the major, it is the foundation of creation of a perfect society. So this surrender is all to the divine being, so that individual can be transformed, and the humanistic society, perfected society, can be manifested here on earth. Against here in the quotes beautifully, there is nothing small in God's eyes, because to create a world, God planned in a long big way. So also His planning while creating an insect, a small insect, because it was all His creation. That's what labor is there. That's what tediousness is there. He has planned in equal manner, with equal thought and with equal vision. So that's why it is His calling. There is nothing small in God's eyes. Nothing small in the God's eyes. Let there be nothing small in thine. So if it is not nothing small in God's eyes, so nothing small should be in thine. He bestows as much as labor to the divine energy of the formations of the cell as in the building of an empire. Just now I was quoting like this, that example I was giving, preparing an empire, building an empire, of course, and versus formation of a cell. He has put equal labor, same labor, equal, same much of labor. For thyself it is greater to be a good showmaker than a luxurious and incompetent king. That is also another thing we can find. So don't think something great and small, good or bad, magnificent or mean, because you know God has perfectly planned in the same vision, in the same way. Imperfect, again, imperfect capacity and effect in the work that is meant for thee is better than artificial competency or borrowed perfection. That is a beautiful comparison here. Imperfect capacity and effect in work. Imperfect capacity and effect in work is that is meant for the is better than artificial competency and borrowed perfection. Even if you are imperfect in your capacity and effortless, your effort is insufficient in performing the work, that is better. That is better than what? Than an artificial competency and a borrowed perfection. That's what's here in the course. Again, we are pushing forward to aphorism on number 330. Not result is the purpose of action. Result, actually we know that's what the public view, normal view, because you know result. What you have done, what is the result, what is the output. Here in the course, not result is the purpose of action, but God's eternal delight in becoming, seeing, and doing. That is a great thing. Already we know, probably, not probably, definitely I will try to say. We need input is there, so output must come. What is the result? But here in the course here, not result is the purpose of action. Then what is the purpose here in the course? God's eternal delight in being, seeing, doing. God's eternal delight in three things only, that is in becoming, seeing, and doing. That's what is the purpose of the work, and that must be taken care of. Still, in the again course here, God's world advances step by step. It is not a swift one, not in a hurry. God is not a hurry. God's world advances step by step, fulfilling the lesser unit before seriously attempting the larger. Already we have known nobody can be the emperor unless lion, unless he has become the God's lamb, because by it is a step by step procedure. Don't be in a hurry. God already advises you, Sri Aurobindo's advice, not to be in a hurry, not to be too swift. Sri Aurobindo quotes, God's world advances step by step, fulfilling the lesser you need before seriously attempts the larger. First of all, you try to complete of the lesser one, then you go for the second. But usual characteristic ones we have quoted, it is better to quote mother. Most of the time, what we feel, we just start one work, before completing that one we just proceed for second. So nothing like this. You try to complete the first one, then go for second. Nothing to be worried. So here also this is God's world advances step by step, fulfilling the lesser unit um, before it seriously attempts for the larger. Affirm free nationality first, if you would to ever bring the world to be in one nation, because you know Sri Aurobindo's mission, vision, and that the five dreams, the world union, so many ways we have studied, you can know. So affirm first, affirm nationality first. So nationality first, then what happens? Then if thou wouldst bring ever bring the world to be one nation. So step by step procedure. You first try to start from you, then your family, then you go for your community, then your state, your country, then your Asia, your continent, then you go for the nation and world at large. So again, here in the quotes, a nation is not made by common blood, a common tongue, or common religion. Here it is very nice thing to know. A nation is not made by a common blood, common tongue, or common religion. These are only the important helps and powerful conveniences. But wherever the communities of men but wherever community of the men are not bound by family ties, are united in one sentiment and aspiration to defend the common inheritance from their ancestors or assure the common future for their positivity. There is a nation already in existence. There is a nation is already in existence. So it is a beautiful one. I will try to quote it again. A nation not made by common blood, common tongue, or common religion. These are only important helps. These three, common blood, common tongue, or common religion, these are the important helps and powerful conveniences. But wherever communities of men not bound by family ties, means these three are lacking somewhere, then what happens? United in one sentient and aspiration to defend a common inheritance from their ancestors or assure a common future for their posterity, there a nation has already in existence. So the building with right attitude, that have a great meaning here. Anyway, it is a great discussion. Really, we have touched communism, socialism, creation, and nation, some Vedantas. In many ways, lack the problems of ego, and we have, to some extent, we have discussed on fraternity, equality, brotherhood, and all. Anyway, we'll try to stop here before going to for the next. Vande Mataram.